Chapter 5, 25 to 526 Attracting Attention. Wu Di's attack came again, but this level of attack could not cause any damage to Zhang Yi. Zhang Yi knew that he would definitely be watched in this battle. Therefore, he could not fight for too long to avoid exposing his strength. However, he would not use his divine power and the new killing move he had just learned. After all, he had no intention of killing Wu Di. So he just calmly raised his pistol, aimed at Wu Di, and shot. At this time, Wu Di was still in shock. Facing Zhang Yi's shooting, he subconsciously used the ability of the aperture to resist. But this time, the black bullet directly penetrated his aperture defense and fell on him. Ah! Wu Di felt pain in his body, his expression twisted, and he knelt on the ground with his chest in pain. At this time, the broadcast of the martial arts field rang in everyone's ears. The martial arts performance is over, Wu Di, defeated. The sudden end of the battle did not surprise anyone, because the battle between high-level aliens is like this, and the victory or defeat is decided in a moment. A brief moment of absent-mindedness, a tiny weakness exposed, can decide victory or death in an instant. Wu Di couldn't believe his ears. This bullet. He looked at the ground, and a dark bullet lay there quietly. It was this bullet that just penetrated his defensive halo and landed on his training suit. Because of the protection of the training suit, he was not penetrated, but the system of the martial arts field had already given him a judgment of defeat based on the degree of damage. Original bullet. How can you have such a thing? Wu Di shouted at Zhang Yi in the distance in disbelief. However, the two people were too far apart, and Zhang Yi didn't hear what he was shouting. Zhang Yi just smiled faintly. The victory and defeat have been decided, and this battle is over. After saying that, he turned around and walked away. But everyone saw this scene clearly. Deng Shintong looked at Zhang Yi's back as he left, and there was a light in his eyes. This guy is really smart. Even Liao Honglei and Bai Chunyu behind him couldn't help but look sideways. First, ordinary bullets were used to make Wu Di careless, and then the origin bullets were mixed in with the ordinary bullets. Such an attack is indeed easy to make mistakes. However, in the final analysis, Wu Di's combat experience is too shallow. Liao Honglei looked down on Wu Di and his words. He crossed his arms and smiled faintly. If it were veterans like us in the army, we would never make such a mistake. We would never give Zhang Yi a chance to shoot. Bai Chunyu, who looked feminine next to him, smiled faintly. But he is indeed a very talented person in combat, isn't he? He knows how to use his strengths and avoid his weaknesses, which is quite rare. Deng Shintong ignored the words of the two men behind him. He looked at Zhang Yi with full appreciation in his eyes. Then he thought to himself, the establishment of the investigation team is fixed, and the number of people cannot be increased at will. This Zhang Yi is already qualified to become a formal member of the Tianjin team, but otherwise, kick Lu Yinghao out of the formal team. His strength is already a bit of a drag. In the box where Zhu Zheng was, facing Zhang Yi's victory, everyone's eyes were a little hot. Being able to defeat Wu Di shows that Zhang Yi has the strength of an elite member of the investigation team. After all, Wu Di is also among the top players in the Black Robe investigation team. It seems that our intelligence on Zhang Yi is indeed wrong. Zhu Zheng frowned slightly. Is this because Zhang Yi hit it well, or did Bailey Chongqing conceal something when reporting to him? No, it's not really. Bailey Chongqing has already reported Zhang Yi's ability truthfully. He is indeed a person who is good at defense. From the perspective of attack, he uses his brain more, rather than having a strong attack attribute ability. It can only mean that this person's ability is not very aggressive, but he is too good at fighting. But why does he have an origin bombs? Zhu Zheng said, looking at the secretary Lan Xinqing next to him. The origin bomb is a secret of China. It is jointly developed by the technical departments of the 6 major regions. Both the materials and the production process are kept absolutely confidential. Even in Blizzard City, only a few people such as Yunyan, the investigation team, and the guards around the senior management of the headquarters have this thing. Because the materials used are too rare, ordinary people have no chance to use it. No wonder Zhu Zheng is sensitive. Lan Xinqing quickly reported. Maybe he got a few of them by chance when the Black Robe Squad was on a mission in Tianhai City. I will go to Zhang Yi and Bailey Chongqing to confirm it. Zhu Zheng nodded. If that's the case, then it's fine. It's fine to let others use a few of them. This Zhang Yi can be considered. He may be useful in the future. Lan Xinqing saw Zhu Zheng's appreciation for Zhang Yi and couldn't help asking, Commander, do you want to transfer him to Blizzard City? Let someone train him, and then consider incorporating him into the Yanyan troops, or assigning him to a certain investigation team? Zhu Zheng thought about it, but waved his hand. For the time being, let's not use it. After all, he is the leader of the aliens in Tianhai City. Today's Tianhai City is in ruins, and its combat effectiveness has been greatly reduced. If he is transferred away again, Tianhai City will not be peaceful in the future. Lan Xinqing heard this and said, the commander is considering it. Lan Xinqing has been with Zhu Zheng for many years and knows his temper. The subtext of this remark is that although he admires Zhang Yi a little, he has not yet liked him. After all, the strength shown by Zhang Yi is at most above the middle level in the investigation team and the Yanyan troops. Zhang Yi left the martial arts field and came to the second floor. Bailey Chongqing looked at Zhang Yi without any surprise in his eyes. Thank you for your mercy, Zhang Yi said nonchalantly. That's all. Wu Di, a mere man, was not taken seriously by Zhang Yi. As for the weapons, what do you say? Bailey Chongqing smiled and said, if you are so anxious, I can take you there to get it later. The weapons depot of the investigation team is in the combat center, not far from here. Zhang Yi nodded. Okay then. I'll go change my clothes first. Speaking of the training suit on his body, Zhang Yi really couldn't let it go. Although the protective suit he wore before had strong defensive power and was equipped with many modern technological equipment, it was definitely not as powerful as this black tights. Not only does it have strong defensive power, the key is that it can improve a person's basic physical fitness, which is terrifying. Zhang Yi really wants to get a set, wear it inside as an inner lining, and then match it with combat clothes. It would be perfect. But now, he can only think about it, because Bailey Chongqing would never give him a set of such high-tech equipment. Fortunately, he has Liu Karen. Zhang Yi looked at Liu Karen next to him, and Liu Karen nodded at him with a confident look in his eyes. A smile appeared on the corner of Zhang Yi's mouth. It seems that he is going to get this good thing. This chapter ends here. If you're eager to know more, then subscribe quickly if not already and comment to cheer me up. Thanks, my dear viewers.